Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Northwest Black Association Digital Demo. I believe we're number 27 right now. Come a long way. Today we are meeting up with Hannah. Did I say that correctly, Hannah?
The company name is Tavora. My name is Renan Tavora.
Hannah is going to be demonstrating a rounding hammer for us today with the striker.
All right. So, hello everyone. Thank you for coming to this live show, to this demo. We'll be forging today a hammer, a 3.5 pound rounding hammer. This is the billet we use. It's 2x4. And hope we end up with that. So this is my striker, Bruno. He's going to be striking for me. And we are hot and good to go. All right?
Oh, that sounds great. Did you say his name was Bruno?
Yeah, his name is Bruno.
Oh, thank Bruno for coming to help today. Hannah,
all right.
Before you start, you said that billet was 2 inches across and 5 inches long?
2x4.
2x4. And then it is 1045, is that what you use?
Yeah, 1045. So let's just start. The first step using a hammer is to punch an eye. To punch an eye. We start very slow, taking back. And I look to see if it's in the middle. I turn it, and I saw. He starts to struck, and I go with slow. I don't rush that time. And this is one of the most important steps of forging a hammer. If you do the eye wrong, it's very difficult, and sometimes it's impossible to make it right. So, I'm seeing every hit, I'm turning every time, and as I turn, the eye corrects itself. So, if I do any blow wrong, the turning will correct. So I just started the eye. I don't know if you can see from there.
Yeah.
And we will take another hit to continue.
So Hannah, while you're taking that heat, can you show us the tool that you're using to punch that eye?
We are using a hammer eye punch. We forged this from 4340, and that's what I use to make the eye of the hammer. These tools are not hardened. You should not harden because you can break it off. So, and you need also to take care to cool it down and don't let it get very hot. So let's go to another heat. I'm not trying to rush anything. I'm taking my time. All right. I turn every time. I don't let the punch sink into the piece. So I turn it, look, analyze. I don't want to have a hole, a rump. So I cool out the punch. I don't like to let the sponge sink into the hole because it will get stuck. So you leave it fluctuating, like if you don't bottom it out, it will go out. So I will take another heat. We are almost there. So I usually don't let the punch sink into the hole. I hold it like fluctuating. So when he struck, the punch go out. If I leave it down there, it gets stuck. So I have to take it out, and the punch gets hot, and the hammer gets cold while that happens. So it's a nice detail that helps you to forge better, more efficient. Yeah, I also have a few hammers ready. I will show while we after the demo. So let's take another heat. Can you see it right from there, or should I move the camera?
No, I think we have a really good view.
All right.
And yes, Joe asked if you're using a gas cord, and he is. Maybe we can see your forge after the next heat.
All right. So I punch it almost all the way through. So now I'm gonna turn the hammer and start from the other side. Here I have two lines that in those lines have a curve here. So from that I can look and see where the middle is. So I look, analyze if it's in the middle, I turn it. Right. So I'm starting to punch from the other side. I correct every blow. I don't let to later because later I might not be able to correct the angles, and I have to look very close to that. So I will pull my punch off, put a little bit of glove, and he's gonna struck 3 times. 3 vezes. Hi. Hi. It's not off yet. I cool it down. 3 vezes. Hi. Almost there. It's almost hanging the plug. Pull it down. Hi. Let's see. Yeah, we got it. The plug is here. The hammer is punching. Can you see from that?
Yeah, that's a great hole. Nice slug.
All right. So we take another heat and we start to drift the hole. Yeah, you want to see the forge, right?
Yes.
It's a very small and cheap gas forge that I'm using it. It's there.
And you have is that a hair dryer that's running your?
Yep. Yeah, it's a hair dryer. So the next step is to start drifting it. And for drifting, we go slow. This is the hammer eye drift, and this gives me the finished hammer eye. So I will each hit going a little bit deeper and deeper. And so in the end, I have the hole the size that I want.
Hannah, what is your drift made of?
Sorry, what?
What is your drift made of? What kind of steel?
My drift, they are made out of 4340. Here I can find 4340 and 1045. So I use 1045 for the hammers and 4340 for almost everything else. It's very hard. It's not soft steel, you know. It's really hard, but it makes good tools with that. I would rather use 5160, but I can't find it here where I live.
Are you telling us that you are about 30 minutes away from the capital of the state that you're in?
Yeah. I'm like an hour or so from the capital,
Okay.
but a little bit less, maybe. But even in the capital, some stuff we can find like 5160 and some other steels and stuff.
And then do you have to travel to the capital every time that you need steel?
Yeah, that's exactly what happened. I traveled there, so I get some steel and bring it back. It's not very far. That's I have kids, so I take them to school there also. So once or two in a week, I'm there in the capital. But I live in a rural area. Here, it's very quiet and peaceful, but you cannot. But also, you cannot find some stuff here. But that's part of the game, right? You can't have it all.
Nope, you sure can't. Rodrigo Lopez says you're the best teacher in Brazil. Respect.
I wish. So let's take another hit. I'm going to pass the drift through the small hole, the size I just finished. So I'm going to bye. I pass the drift again. I reset the drift. I do it again. I put the coping tool and I hold the flatter. And Bruno will stroke. Yeah. I reset. I pull the scale away. And I turn it. Now I'm starting the round face. So I will take another hit and do the exact same thing through the other side.
So you're switching which side the drift is coming in each heat?
Each heat. I never repeat the side because that helps me to keep the balance of the hammer, to keep the faces parallel, and like in everything in forging, I try to be like everything I do in one side, I do at the other side. Like that helps to keep the stuff you forge right. I don't know if I'm being clear.
Yeah.
So now I will take the second key, drifting. I put these steps. Some people call it hump tools. I use that to support the hammer. So I go one side, the other side, I reset, and again, one, one, up. Then I take the cutting tool again. And one thing it's good to do is to take the crap out here, the scale. So, here, here, reset. All right. So now I've gone through to both sides. So now I'm gonna create this mark, this fuller mark, that helps me to isolate the eye, so that will be not affected by forging. And that also what it does is to, while isolating the eye, I can paper that out more. That helps to secure the handle on the hammer, all that area contact, and it looks good. So everything or most of stuff that I learned with Prime Brazil and Wildwing. They taught me that, and that's a great way I see for forging a hammer. It's very efficient, doesn't take many heats, and you can do it by hand with a striker. So now I'm going to isolate I turn every time. The corners. Sides again. All right. So I do the same thing at the other side.
type of wood you use for your handles?
Yeah, for many years I struggled with that here because it was very difficult to find some good hammer handle. But luckily, like a year ago, I just found a great wood. It's called Tawari. It's a Brazilian wood, and it's very cheap here, and it makes a good hammer handle, like as good as hickory maybe. And that's the wood, Tawari. Yeah. Uh, that's it. And you will do the same thing again at the other side. Sides. At the corners. All right, so you have the same thing on both sides. And now I go back with the drift each side.
The step that you just did where you kind of forward down on the sides of the eye, do you only do that on the one heat, or are you gonna do that again later?
Yeah, I will do it later. The most important part of the hammer is my opinion, is to go slow. You do not finish any part at all, because if you finish a part, when you forge another, it will destroy what you did or make it unbalanced. So I go a little bit by little bit, and I go finish all the hammer. And so I will do the same step later. I will now test the drift, uh, taper more the eye, make the eye bigger, and then later I go back making those fuller marks deeper, and that's the process. Uh, you have to do it slow. It doesn't help to do it all at once or try to finish any part, because I've tried all the I've tried everything, and it doesn't work at all. For me, it just works if I go slow each step. So that also what Brian taught me. Brian taught me that, Plowing taught me that, so it's important to go creating like a sculpture in anything about forging. Anything you do, if you obey that principle, that technique or that habit, you will succeed. At least for me, that's how I see it. Now we are going to pass the drift again. We always start from the in part of the hole, like so I will create 3 marks. My drift just broke. I never saw that happen.
Oh no!
I never saw that happen. Ah, that's funny.
Of course it
That,
happens now.
that probably, that's the first time I see that happen. My life, that's funny. I have another drift, no problem.
Perfect.
That's probably because of the 4340. That it's a good steel, but it gets hardened real easy. So what probably happened is that the drift I made from 4340, it got hardened. Uh, so when I was heating that, it just broke. The 4340 is a great steel, but I'm finding you have to be very careful with the hardening, right? So the process is the same now. We drift the eye, we forge these marks, creating 3 marks. Those 3 marks will help to pull the metal out. If I just bang it, it doesn't, it's not very efficient. So I create 3 marks in each side that matches, one in the middle, one out, and then in the other. So that's the process. So we will continue to drift it. The mark in the half, in the middle, one, and then I move. One, turn it, one. One more, Bruno. Yeah. So now I go to that side of the anvil, start here. That helps me to keep this line clean. And then he will put the cupping tool, and I will take it out now. I take the scale off, and he will hit here. I go to the other side, again, that's it. And then I will do the same thing at the other side of the hole. I hope you can see it. So this flatter, Brian left me. Like we forged this together, and he left me this here like a present. And there's also this rounding hammer I made with flowering in 2015, and I really love it because it was the first hammer I made while I was there in Mississippi.
And if you are liking what you see, I highly encourage you to hop over, tip this guy a little bit. Now he's got to buy himself a new drift after this.
All right, so we continue to forge to the other side now. go in the middle, and then now we do like this to clean all those lines, and that's it. We will put the cupping tool. I brush it. So now we go back to that line to finish that lines, and that's it. So we'll go back to those lines. And I could go a little bit deeper. And now I repeat the same thing on the other side. Yeah, there is if you go too deep with those fuller lines, what happens is that it's very easy for the hammer get unbalanced. So the eye may be turned or the faces are not parallel. So it's very good to not go, it's not good to go too deep like that. And also, if you do it very thin, it will break with time. So after hardening and using for sometimes it breaks if you go from the hammer needs to have a certain structure, so it can be a tool that will last a lifetime. And now we go to the other side. We go a little bit deeper. One more here. That's it. Now we go back to the drift and we can say we can finish up 2 beats, or we can finish up now this part using a big fuller, or we can open that up a little bit more. So we do it, we take 4 heats from now to open that up a little bit and make it a beautiful hammer. All right, let's go. So now we go here, needle, needle, go this side, we will jump into. I brush it so I don't have to grind a lot to face it later. Back. All right. Next hit, we'll do the same thing again, but the other side.
I've got a couple of questions for you.
All right.
First is from Joe Elliott, and he's wondering, I mean, this is your striking anvil. Do you have another anvil that you use?
Yeah, I have a striking anvil, and also while Brian and Ed was here, we made anvils, like they call keyed anvils, that goes into this hole and get locked, like wedged, and I will show that later. So that's what I use. So I only use these, the striking anvil and the wedge wave for headboard. And that's it. I have other anvils, but I don't use at all. This setup is amazing because the anvil got really keyed in, so it doesn't move a lot. It responds a lot, and also it stimulates you because the keyed anvil have a really short face. It makes you forge. I don't know. Makes you forge better, in my opinion, because you don't have a real long flat face to mess around. So you got really precise with that. That improves your technique, the hammer technique, I think, in my opinion. So that's what I use for teaching and for working. I just that. I have 2 other anvils that I bought and trade, but I don't use at all. I might be selling because they don't have a use in my shop.
Kurt is asking if you always put the eye in the center of the hammer, or if you ever make them so that they're heavier on one side.
If a client asks for that, I will do it. I've done that many times before, but usually it's the middle of the hammer. But that's what most people like. So now we will take the next and you repeat the process. Needle, needle. One more. That's it. Go at the sides, clean those lines, and Bruno will put the flatter. Cut. Flat. All right, so now I have 3 lines, you see? I don't know if you can see it. One in the middle. So now I will repeat the process, but I will use a bigger fuller, so it will clean those lines.
How heavy is the hammer that Bruno is using?
It's a small one. It's 5 kilograms, like 10 pounds. I would rather him using a bigger one, but I never found for sale.
Did you guys make the sledgehammer that Bruno's using?
No, he did not. I could make a sledgehammer heavy like that. I just never thought I was really. I always did other stuff, so making those handles and those top tools, I never went around to do that, but I should. But with a striker, making a hammer heavy like that, it's not efficient. You lose a lot of efficiency and you take many hits to do it. Oh, sorry. So now I'm cleaning. I might just take some scale off so I don't put it inside. And this time, this part of the process, the striker needs to be very consistent because if you don't, you will end up with different sides. Like this one, if you hit harder, will be bigger than the other one later. So it doesn't look like, but making a hammer, it's a process that you have to be careful. You have to watch every step and think all the time, because most people think that forging is all about force, but it's not. You have to think all the time, or you will make things wrong, different or wrong. It's a mental process.
So during your hammer talk, I remember you saying that you've made over 1,000 hammers.
Yeah.
Has Bruno been there making hammers with you the whole time?
No. The first striker I had it's called John. His nickname was John, and we started everything out of nothing. We went to the woods and took some trees down and built a very small shop for me with clay and the trees, like the wood. And there I started in a railroad track. And at that time, in 2012, 2013, there was not a lot of videos on the internet. So when I learned or started to learn the process, of forging tools was through Brian Brazil Google Plus photos that wow through the years. So that photos helped me a lot to understand, to start to understand the process because there was not one single video at the time. And then I started to make the tools and make tongs, and I tried many times. I tried many times to do the hammer I punch. Uh, and with very little information, I stayed there working every day. And then I end up one time understanding the process and being able to forge the hammer. Later on, I was able to go to Wild Swing class in Mississippi and make the tools make tools. I was only there for 4 or 5 days, but it was amazing. So right now, the process of learning it's a lot easier because you have many videos and many people teaching. That's amazing. And that's why because I started to teach because I did not want to anyone need to go through but everything I did to learn. So learning is easy if you have someone teaching you. So that's what motivates me to teach and to forge, to everything else. So now we take another heat and we start the drift again. I brush it. I reset. So I might need to take 1 or 2 hits more to finish and make it look perfect, or at least better. It's already like a helpful. It's already starting to look like a good hammer. But sometimes you have to just take
That looks like a great.
yeah. Sometimes you have to just take 1 or 2 more hits to make it looking like you want to. That's fine. All right.
Oh, I'm wondering if you were gonna heat treat this for us.
Oh, I think there will be no time for that because usually I wait until the hammer gets cold by itself, like real slow. Then I grind and I do the grinding and then I heat treat. So that takes time. It's not uh, it's not good if I rush that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Would before we're done with the demo though, could you describe your heat treating process for us so we can hear about it?
Yeah, of course, I will. So I mean the last few hits, I just want to clean the cheeks a little bit more. So it looks good. Right. All right. Now it's where I want. Right. A mesma força. So I clean the faces. Go to the other side. And now the last heat. Finally. So how is time, Helen?
You're doing great. It is 11:20. I mean, we still have a good 40 minutes before looks like it should maybe be towards the end. So you have plenty of time.
All right. Well, this is the last heat. I'm just repeating the process so the cheeks are clean, very smooth. And I've made many hammers, and you get gets really easy every time you make one again. So, but it's for me the most difficult part. It's not sorry. It's finishing. It's grinding and hardening, tempering, putting the handle. That's the most consuming time part, I think. My opinion. Forging is the fun. Pode desligar aí. Pode desligar aí afora. All right, so I will put the drift. That's the last time. And then Bruno, olha lá. Forte. That's it. Almost there. All right. One more. Okay. All right, finish. Bota aí. All right, that's it. It's finished. I will brush it so you can see it better. In a wheel brush. All right, that's it.
Well, I can see something you forgot, man. Where's your touch mark?
All right. I usually wait until it gets cold so I can see if the hammer is balanced, and then I put the touch mark. But let me do this now, right, for you to see.
Perfect, thank you.
So that's the hammer. These hammers weigh 3.5 pounds. That's the best weight, not the best, but the most where you can forge different things with it. It's the most versatile. So you can forge small stuff and also big stuff with it.
Oh, well,
Like you can forge jewelry with it. And you can also forge 1-inch bars by making a grip. So that's it.
do you have time to show us your workspace?
Yeah, I'm just going to stamp the hammer like you talked about, and then I will take the phone out of the tripod and show a little bit of my shop. So we stamp the hammer like that. Better, 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 better. Right. Better. Right. All right. Now now it's finished.
Oh, that looks beautiful. Great job. Bravo. Clarence,
Thank you.
excellent demo. Rodriguez is saying great job, both Hina and Bruno. Here in Brazil, it is so hard to do this job, and that he just has a lot of respect. Jeff is saying
Thank you.
excellent demo, and Lynn really likes your touch mark.
Thank you. Thank you very much. That's the hammer and that's the billet I started out.
Oh, well, it
2x4.
gone through a great transformation. What a cool tool. Thank you for sharing.
Well, thank you for the opportunity. I would like to thank you and everyone involved in those demos, because for us that are not living uh, in, uh, in other places like here, it's very important to have that recognition, and it's amazing. It's amazing that this work can go to other countries and places and continents. I do this for a living. That's what I do every day, and that's all my income source. So that's great. Thank you.
Could you tell us about how you heat treat your hammer?
Yeah. Well, for heat treating, I let the hammers cool in the air, and then I brush it in a brush wheel. And then I go and grind the faces. What I do also is to round the side of the hole that the handle is coming in, so it doesn't break when I'm handling it. And then I go in a bucket of water with the faces hot, and then I harden Mm. So I try to keep the faces of the hammer hotter than the rest. And that is a tricky one if you don't have a torch, and it's easier to do in a torch or in a solid fuel forge, like a charcoal forge or a coal forge or coke. But I can do it in the gas forge too. And then I let the faces get hotter, and in a certain temperature, I take to the bucket and give it a good shake it, and then the hammer is hardened.
And you do
Then
that
after
with water?
that, sorry, what?
You use water to quench it?
Yeah, water, cold water, like it can't be hot or the hammer will not harden. And so if you are doing harden many hammers, you should change the water or add ice. I don't know, because the hammer doesn't harden while the water is hot. So and then I temper, and then I heat 2 or 3 drifts and put it back in the eye and let sink there until the hammer start being the color that I want for heat treating, for tempering, and then that's it. That's the most of the process. Uh, I do it by eye and by hand. I don't have many tools and I don't have well, how you say, like a oven, a heat treating oven. That will be better, but it can be done, and the quality is good. The the good side of doing that kind of heat treat is that the eye is very soft and the faces are hardened. So the you feel different the hammer. If the hammer are retreated like that, at least I feel different than when a hammer is heat treated in an oven while I'm hammering using it. I don't know if I'm being clear or not.
Yeah, I think I understand that.
So let's do a shop tour, right? My shop doesn't have much, but let me see how I change. Uh, That's the hammer we just forged. And here are my tools. Some hammers, a fuller hammer, a crossbeam. Those 3 hammers are for sale. This is 2 pound, 3.5 pounds, and 3.5 pounds. So some of my tools, uh, the hammer I punch, the fuller, the big fuller. Some of those tools Brian left here, Brian and Ed, my punches, they also left some.
Um, Hannah,
Striking,
I
yeah.
have a question about your touch mark that you used. Did you make that touch mark or did you
No, I just ordered it.
you ordered it?
Yeah. And that's also the hammer that I own. It's not running yet, so it's 150 kilograms. I got in a real good condition, and it's the parts inside are very good. It was not used a lot, but here in Brazil, here where I live, I don't have three-phase power, so I'm still trying to set up that. But I already took the hammer apart, everything, and put it back together to check if it's running. This is one of the anvils. This is the kit anvil I talked about. that Brian developed. It has a key that locks the anvil above the striking anvil. That's great for forging. Uh, we forge those anvils, those horns, those square holes, the square holes of the striking anvil. Also, we did that by hand here. We we drift it by hand because it's hard here to get a square hole. Uh, at least I don't know where to get. And then these are just the tools that I have right now. Uh, the grinder. That's it. Some
Oh,
of the anvils that I own and I don't use it at all. So I might be selling that. And that's my shop.
the
I
square hole
just
that you put in those striking angles, are you or is it all hot work? Are you drilling a hole first and then drifting it?
yeah. What we did was to uh, we drill a half-inch hole, and then we not half. No, it wasn't half. It was like a 7/8 inch hole, and then we put the square drift like that, and then in a process of 3 heats, we can or less we can drift the holes.
Oh, well,
So
thank you for sharing that.
I would like to thank you and thank everyone involved for this opportunity. It's nice to share and to show what I'm doing here. And that's it. Also, thank you for everyone that watched and took time to be here with me and with Bruno, my
Yeah, well,
striker.
yeah, another huge thank you to Bruno. It was great watching such a competent striker help you out. We all wish we had a Bruno in
Yeah.
our own shop.
Oh, yeah, that's right. All right. Thank you.